This is Dabu7. We have Bill Gates, that is not a doctor, making more statements here saying that he believes that come 2022, we will enter the acute phase of everything that we're living through, and that it will all finally come to an end in 2022 and dial down, so to speak. He goes on to state that there's no question that the Omicron variant is concerning, which is garbage. But he says that we're better prepared now to tackle any of these bad variants. And he foresees us coming out of this, saying that there's going to be new drugs available that can take care of most of the cases and that hospitals will be able to handle the rest. So they're signaling and showing that 2022 is going to be a year, or what they're saying, that things should shift. Now, we'll see if any other variants get thrown at us. I mean, we've got all the way up to the Omega variant, which they haven't played yet. But let's remember that Gates has warned time and time again that there's going to be a different wave. There's going to be a second pandemic, is what they call it. One that will be used as a bioweapon, is what he said in many different interviews. He also put a timeline up to 2025. Between 2024 and 2025, this man has repeatedly stated that that window is where they expect something to happen. I hope you've been taking notes, as all these CEOs are just folding back into the shadows left and right. Just did another one last night. Before that, we had Jack over on Twitter. Before that, it was Bezos. Before that, it was Gates. All these goons folding back into the shadows. If anyone's paying attention. Oh, and before I'm done, Gates calls for one more thing. More censorship. Strict regulation of social media companies is what he calls for. Yep. So that you might want to know. I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream. Make sure to join me.
Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Brakadam to you sincere believers, to the hopeful elect, man. And this is just real quick, because being that we're supposed to be on our watch, we're supposed to be watching, hastening, and pretty much I saw this video by Dabu7 and as he was talking about what they're calling this acute phase, into pretty much they're saying that or it, for me at least, it poses a question, are they going to pretty much, when it comes to their enterprise and what they're trying to accomplish, all right, just trying to see how to word this without, YouTube's algorithm, which more than likely this video will be up on BitChute. But pretty much because we know and understand that, that they're trying to accomplish this enterprise, they're trying to, fulfill this NWO, all right? And could we be in the next phase? Could we see the next phase on how they're, trying to, because again, we know and understand that. Matter of fact, let me get this in Job chapter 20 real quick. Because they're going to get to a point where they're going to get to this point of satisfaction, right? Which I'm going to read this in Job chapter 20. Job chapter 20. Verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." So going into the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, like I said, that satisfaction of just when they think that they got to a point of accomplishment, because that's what looking into the words of fullness and sufficiency. Basically, like I said, the satisfaction and accomplishment in this enterprise that they're trying to bring about the world. All right. Just when they think they get to that point, that's when the Lord is going to rain on their parade. All right, because they are going to get to a point. It is the will of Yahweh Shem Shah that you know that they do get to a point. They're gonna implant charagmas in a lot of people. All right. So with that being said, they are going to get to a point, a certain point, and just when they think that they've, got to that level of satisfaction, all right, accomplishment, all right, because again, that's what these words, when you go into them, that's pretty much what they talk. That's pretty much what it's, going into, all right, that feeling of accomplishment, all right. So just when they think, that they're about to fill their belly, that's when the Lord is going to rain on their parade. As it reads on down. Matter of fact, verse 23 says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right. The ultimate shitting on your parade. All right. It's going to come by way when Yahushua comes to disrupt everything that they thought that they fulfilled and everything that they thought that they accomplished. All right. The Lord's going to shit on their parade. All right. But nevertheless, like I said, it is the will of the Lord that they get to a certain point. And again, with these illuminarians, what they're saying or what they're talking about with this acute phase, right, to where they pretty much saying that this or like I said, talking about this acute phase, like I said, it poses the question, well, is this, could we be in the next step? Because they've used this so-called pandemic to really, because of the so-called pandemic, it's really sped a lot of things up. They were able to get a lot of things off the ground and a lot quicker than what they planned before, than what they originally attended. All right. You had guys like Klaus Schwab, the founder of the Economic Forum or whatever it is. All right. And other of these illuminarians, pretty much say how, like I said, this whole pandemic has ushered in a lot of their plans a lot quicker. All right. So again, could we be moving into the next phase? Lord's will. All right. Because now they're talking about with Neuralinks, with the Neuralink, Elon Musk, they're talking about waiting the FDA approval, which they're going to get that. All right. Because again, this is prophecy and it has to happen. So it's going to get approved. But, for the sake of, the people, they have to be persuaded that, these things are safe. Right. With waiting on this whole FDA approval to implant charagmas, all right, the Bismarcky and people and for 2022, So, hey, like I said, could this be it, man? Again, Lord's will, we don't know, no man knows the day or hour, but hey, Lord's will, we could, this could be it. All right. Because hey, I said this before, man, back in 2019 and 2020 was going to be one hell of a year. It's going to be a very interesting year, I said. And I'm saying it now, man. Hey, 2022 is going to be one hell of a year. It's going to be, one interesting year, right? It's going to be a very interesting year, all right? So, hey, prophecy is moving. And, of course, to the hopefully legs. We got nothing to worry about because, hey, like I said, Yahweh Shai, he's going to be the one to ultimately shit on the parade. I'm going to read this in Job chapter 27. Job chapter 27. I'm gonna jump around, so I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, "For what is the hope of the hypocrite?" Talking about Esau, because the Bible, matter of fact, when you read verse 1, it says, "Moreover, Job continued his parable and said," all right. So just showing that that it's one of those dark sayings, all right. And what this is going into is Esau, because there's a lot of parables and dark sayings in the book of Job, Psalms throughout the Bible. Even Yahweh Shai, when he walked the earth, he spoke in parables. And even the men of the Lord today speaking in parables. Like I said, YouTube YouTube's algorithm. It's why a lot of brothers use codes and just using parables. Which only the elect would get it. But nevertheless, going into this parable, when it talks about this hypocrite, it's talking about Esau. So again, verse 8, it says, "For what is the hope of the hypocrite?" Because the Lord has them really believing that they're actually going to accomplish this thing. The Lord has them thinking that, really believing that they're going to fully get this off the ground, right? It says, "Though he hath gained when the Most High taketh away his soul." All right, because again, the Lord is going to, he's going to rain on the parade, man. I'm going to jump down. To verse 15. It says, "Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not." Yeah, because this whole enterprise that they're trying to accomplish is going to be very, very, very extremely short-lived. All right. You see, because where's that at, man? It talks about how when it comes to Esau, man, in the kingdom, the nations are going to be looking at Esau like this is the man that had the whole, he ruled the earth with fear and trembling, roughly paraphrasing it, but because right now, hey, everyone looks at the so-called white man like as he's God, man. But when the Lord brings him down, everyone's going to be looking like this is the man who ruled the world at one point and had all the riches and the resource, and he had all these things. These were those guys. It's going to get to that point eventually, right? And even more so when you go into the depths of his technology, what it's able to, what it's capable of doing. Again, going back to this whole Neuralink, how they're gonna, people that are, which these things have been broken down plenty of times. Start with the apostles, man. How with the Karagma, man, I always say, man, it goes a lot deeper than just buying and selling. All right, they got to present this in a way to where everyone. And this is what John the Revelator see when he received those visions, man. He saw people lining up to take this, man. And a lot of people, a lot of people, even when this thing comes out, a lot of people are going to know that it's talking about Revelation 13, 16, and 17. A lot of people know that it's talking about the Karagma, but they're still going to take it. All right, because ultimately, if you're not of Yahweh Shemal Shai, then the Lord don't want you, so he's going to set it up to where he's going to make it to where you take it, all right, to be destroyed. But a lot of people know that it's talking about the Karagma, and they're going to take it anyways, all right. But nevertheless, he has to present this in a way that hey, it's appeasing to everyone. It's convenient. This thing is going to be doing all type of miracles on the left hand, all right. Healing the blind, giving the blind their eyesight back, and all type of stuff, right? And like I said, just the fact that this, that as far as his technology and what he's capable of doing, this is why these people look at this man as God, man. But his dreams, his aspirations, and everything that he's trying to accomplish, man, is going to be very short lived. All right, and this is why again, verse 19 it says, "The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth. And as a storm hurleth him out of his place. For the Most High shall cast upon him, and not spare. He will not flame out of his hand. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him, and shall hiss him out of his place." Yeah, because like I said, in our kingdom, man, Esau, he's going to be a laughingstock. He's going to be made mockery of. All right, just like they're doing the children of Israel today, where the children of Israel, they wag their hands and they clap and make mockery, they hiss right at us. Hey, Esau, he's going to get that double in our kingdom. All right, but nevertheless, hey, like I said, the days are coming where, the days are coming where, matter of fact, let me because there was a precept that came to my mind. I don't know if I read over it. So I'm gonna just read verse what was that, verse 8 again. It says, "For what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when the Most High taketh away his soul?" Because going back to the point I was making, like I said, they really do believe that they're going to actually get this enterprise off the ground, all right, and accomplish this NWO, all right, and like I said, the Lord is going to allow them to get to a level. He's going to allow them to get to a point, all right, but it's going to be very, very, very short lived, all right, and I'm going to just go ahead and get this in Job chapter 5. Job chapter 5, verse 12, it says, "He disappointeth the devices of the crafty." All right, because, dealing with this whole NWO, what they tried to do and their plans and their agendas, this is something that they've been trying to do for decades. All right, and, whenever they got to whenever they thought they were going to get to a point, the Lord would throw a monkey wrench into their plans. All right. So again, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty, because ultimately, if it doesn't line up with the will of Yahweh Shema Shai, they're not going to accomplish it. They're not going to, the Lord's not going to allow it to come to pass. All right. But this is the time now where, the Lord is going to allow them, like I said, He's going to allow them to get to a point. A lot of people are going to take that charagma. All right. This is the time that these things are going to be fulfilled, because that's the thing, throughout the decades when they're trying to accomplish this, their enterprise, it wasn't the time for these things to be fulfilled. All right. Now this is the time that these things, the Lord said it, now it's going to happen, and this is the time it's going to be fulfilled. It says, "So that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." All right. Going into the end, that NWO. All right. I'm just seeing what the definition going into this enterprise here. It says wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success, sound or efficient wisdom. Right. So basically this enterprise going into the success of their NWO. All right. Because again, when they get to a point where their belly is, when they get to a point of satisfaction, accomplishment, we don't put charagmas in the majority of the people. We're good. I always paint the narrative of when you cook a big ass meal, a 12-foot table full of just delicious food, man, and you're about to devour that shit, man. You got your handkerchief, you tuck your handkerchief into your shirt or whatever, your lap or whatever, all right, and man, you're rubbing your hands together, licking your lips, right? You get the fork, the steak knife, the spoon, you get your utensils, and just when you're about to dig in, all right, something happens to where you can't enjoy none of it, all right? A bomb blows up or something takes place to where, all that basically for nothing, all right? Because Esau, he's going out, all this that he's accumulated, throughout the generations, right? And that's why, back what I read in Job 27, that's one of his code names. He's known as the rich man, all right? Because again, he has everything. He has the wealth, the wealth, the resources. He has everything. He's the rich man, all right? And all that he's heaped up, all right, is gonna be for nothing, man. Everything that he has, man, it's he's not gonna be able to enjoy it. Is what I meant to say, all right? Because it's all gonna come crashing, crumbling down. But the point I don't want to that I'm trying to make is that the Lord is going to allow them to get to a point. They are going to put charagmas in a lot of people. All right, they are going to get to a point. They're going to accomplish they're going to be able to bring in the order via the chaos. They're going to be able to do all these things because again it all lines up with the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, but when it gets to the point where they're satisfied and they're feeling accomplished, the Lord, hey, he's going to take them out of power. But nevertheless, it has to, play out. It has to be manifested. So, like I said, hey, Lord's will, this whole acute phase that they're talking about, Lord's will, hey, 2022, man, they again, we're hastening, man. So, we hope that this devil gets the ball rolling, man. We hope that he's able to, really start, doing things, man, and bringing out the Karagma, the Bismarcky more and more, and nations are being geared up for World War III, and all these things, man. We're hoping that he gets it off the ground, because the further he's able to, the further he's able to go, the sooner we know that we're about to get the hell up out of here, man. So hopefully this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shema Shai. Brakathum to you sincere believers, to the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, until next time. Shalom.